Hey everybody, it's AJ Puedan with Better, Faster, and Easier, and today I'm talking with Ben Bressington from Tigga Studios, and I'll tell you, I was at a network thing, and I met this guy. I said, so what do you do? He told me in the first sentence, I was like, okay, you gotta tell me more. I was like grabbing, it was like all of a sudden I was like, literally jumping. I was jumping, right? It's like, okay, because he's talking about something that I've been very excited about for a long time, yet, I just didn't have a grasp on it. And as much as I love talking about it, what was even more exciting is that he turned into some kind of like tangible or transferable or applicable concept. So, hey everybody, this is Ben Bressington. How are you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful. It's a very good day.
Awesome. Normally the format of the show is really just kind of like let's just ponder life together, and maybe we'll kind of get into that a little bit. Yet, I really want to talk about what you do because it does affect like every area of life, or it can be apply it in every area of life, and so I'm going to say it from my experience, and then I'll have you kind of like chime in on tweaking into what the real deal is, okay? Because I only have a limited view, so I'm giving the layman version, and then I want to hear the real deal, okay? So
Sounds like a plan.
Ben is a consultant and a expert in gamification. It's like some people don't even know what that word is, and it's interesting. My nephew actually has a book. In college he has a thing on video games and stuff like that, and I've heard people using these, taking the concept that makes a video game addictive. Like they can addictive basically, and applying it into other areas of life, like in business. I mean, can you imagine what it would be like if your employees went to your work and they were addicted to working for you and making you money, like they were addicted to video games, right? I mean, that'd just be awesome. Or how about yourself? If the things that you want to do and you just couldn't get yourself to do, if you could do that. But these were all kind of like concepts that I've just barely heard of here and there, and it's like, okay, great concept, but I don't know what to do with it. I met with Ben, and just like instantly he started showing me this is how it's applied, and so that was pretty cool. So, hey, in a nutshell, what, in your words, what is gamification?
So gamification is really applying game design, game thinking, and game logic to a non-game context. So business, or losing weight. We've seen Nike do it with getting people to run in the Nike Plus community. They created a whole new product line by selling more shoes. They made life fun and engaging because they realized if we want to sell more shoes, we've got to get people outside running. We've got to get them using their shoes more. So they created a whole community, and now you get the Nike bracelets that you can wear, or even the connects to your iPod when you're running, and it motivates you, and it tracks how far you're running, and it shares it with your friends. So now you can compete against each other. So it's really gamification is all about engaging, getting people excited and motivated to do something. You can do this in work. You can do it in business. Weight loss is a simple example. You can actually do it on websites, making them more exciting and engaging. But I've got to clarify one thing.
Okay.
Most of the time when I say gamification, most people go, yeah, well, does that mean you can create a business Angry Birds? I'm like, no, it's not turning your business into Angry Birds or World of Warcraft. It's taking the elements, the processes that are in those games that make them addictive and have the people spending $5 million a month to play these games, and having thousands, hundreds of thousands of people playing them at any one time. It's taking those elements and applying them to business. So and you can do this online and offline, not just on mobile.
Yeah, that's why I like it's not just creating a board game or creating a video. It really is interactive on the off. I like your offline concepts as well. I think those are pretty exciting. So yeah, weight loss. Like what would you do for gaming around weight loss? Like what does a person do?
So Well, one of the things is I cycle, right? I love my cycling, and I'm trying to motivate myself to do bigger rides. So right now I'm riding 60 miles on a weekend,
60 miles
on a Saturday and a Sunday, and I've got now set myself a target, which is 500 miles a month. And what I've got this little Garmin GPS device that tracks me where I ride and shows me routes that I'm riding along. But it also compares me against other riders that I'm riding with.
Okay.
So as I'm riding along, it chimes and it says, someone set up a race right now for the next mile. And then I can come back and I can see on this mile run, I am now I'm running 40th in the States for all the people who have ridden this ride, and I get points and I get badges the more I ride. So now I'm more excited to get out and ride every single day. Even when I do like a short 20-mile ride or ride down to the shops, I can be racing other people, even though they're not with me right now. It tracks my time, uploads it to a website, and it gets fed to all these other people to say, hey, Ben just beat your best time.
Oh, that's freaking awesome.
So, that's just the use of a little device, and there's now even apps you can do it with your mobile phone. So if you're into running, right, or muscle gain, like if you go to the gym, you're doing muscle training, right?
Yeah.
You can take photos of your muscles and compete against somebody else and do bench pressing competitions or weightlifting competitions. And you're playing against people who are not even in the same gym. You take it all with your app, all right? You take photos of it and you record it, and then you compete against somebody else in another gym anywhere else in the world. And get this, they can have 7 days to beat your record, and you kind of battle each other. So now, just going to the gym and working out and bench pressing sometimes is boring, right? It's not the most exciting thing in the world. But now you're going and you're challenging, you're battling somebody else. So you kind of give it all, you give it that extra 10%, you get a little bit further. That's just a few fitness examples of what's going on.
You know, I had this idea that I'll probably tell you a little bit later, so we can expand upon it. But it was like a weight loss. It was about losing inches, and it was kind of tied to a charity. You know, the more inches you lose, then the more people donate based on how much inches you lost. Kind of like a walkathon. You know,
exactly.
The thing is, all of a sudden, like you could go into a community, especially if they got two colleges, and it's like this college lost this many inches compared to this college, or the fire department versus the police, who can lose the most inches or keep off the weight,
exactly right.
Or radio stations and stuff like that. One of the things that I've done for myself is when I teach, I really want to keep it all about making a difference in my students and the people. And yet at the same time, I'm a business. And, in the back of the room, sometimes we got to focus on some of the business things. And I hate talking money in the back of the room because it takes me off the focus of what I need to be doing in the room, but I have to do it. So, I took on a concept kind of like from a casino. In the back of the room, we don't talk about dollars. We talk about points. And I asked my team, it's like, how many lives do I need to change in order to get this many points? And when we get this many points, what happens? And so I realized I started kind of doing that. Now, as much as I think, wow, hey, I'm already kind of doing this, I met with Ben, and I was telling him like some of the ideas, and he walks his talks. In other words, he teaches gamification with games. So he pulls out this deck of cards which has all his ideas on it, and he lays them all out. And I'm thinking, and each one of these cards has a way that is motivating people in the business. And of all the things that I think I'm so smart, he goes, wow, that's great. So you're using, out of these 9 ways, you're using 1 3 times. I'm like, oh, it's like, okay, I'm missing the boat on that. So it's like, you got to teach me more about these other 9 things. But
well, what's exciting there is we have, you're using one marketing strategy, right? Yeah. And what I gave you is I showed you that I have 47 other marketing strategies.
Okay.
That you can layer with that. And most people think there's only 1, 2, or 3, right?
Yeah.
But there's 47. So when we go into a business and we create a marketing strategy or an engagement strategy, it's like layering like an onion. All these strategies. And it gives you such a competitive advantage. And the other big thing people tell me, oh, that means I've got to create an app or I've got to redo this. It's not. even when I said with some of your marketing campaigns, AJ, it was just making a slight tweak, a slight cheap tweak to how you did it at the front or at the back end. It wasn't a complete rebuild at all. It's just, and you see it, it makes logical sense that if you make this slight change, you're happier. People are going to be happier. They're going to be better involved. And that's what's exciting.
Yeah. Yeah. So, a lot of my audience have been through my event, The Next Level, with that I do with Marshall. And that is like the biggest life-changing. And I look at what made that so effective is because we play games the entire time. And yet I think, well, great. How do we take this experience and put it into, so it's just not another seminar. How do you bring this into your world? And it's like, wow, what if we can game this in, in daily life? What if your whole life was a seminar? Well, then what if your whole life was a game? And, and the thing is, it takes the ability to take something serious and make it fun again, make it passionate again, and those sort of things. What are some strange things that you've gamify, or what? Well, maybe not strange to you because you're used to it now, but.
Well, there was a great website I saw that out there for parents with kids or anyone about doing the chores around the house, right? Because let's face it, you coming home after a day of doing work and talking to clients and having to take out the trash or mow the grass or clean the bathrooms or do the washing isn't the most exciting thing.
Take care of the pets,
Yeah, like take care of the pets, take the dog for a walk, brush the dog, or even just wash the car, right? The simple, everyday things we've got to do around in our lives just to kind of keep clean and keep human, right? So what there is there's a website out there called Chore Wars, and it creates a game out of everyone in the house doing the chores. So it actually changes your philosophy about doing it. It's now no longer a chore. You're getting points, and your points add up to rewards, and you're battling everyone in the house. And if I go and do your chore for you, I get more points. And now we're competing against each other, and it's actually fun. And there's case study after case study of kids begging their parents to set the table, their homework's done before they even get home. And it changes your relationship and the dynamic
Holy cow.
Of how fun just normal life, everyday life can be, because it's all about a game. And when we turn things into a game, it just becomes fun and exciting. And we actually have better results.
One of the things that I've been on a personal development business level been talking to people about is this concept of discipline, and that it's just in life you're either going to have disciplines or regrets. You'll either do what it takes to get the result, or that you'll wish that you had. And when it comes to discipline, I think that's a place where our particular culture really, really lacks. It's okay. Well, how can I feel good so I can want to do it? And they're looking for this kind of self-motivation, where it's no, I don't care how you feel. You just got to get yourself to do it. And
exactly.
So I've been talking about discipline, but now you're taking it back to that other part of, okay, well, how do I make myself want to? So it's using both strategies, because sometimes you just got to get freaking things done, right?
Exactly. Well, it actually comes down to a more fundamental element in that motivation has changed. And the way we actually receive motivation has changed, because it's built on three things. It used to be built on two. And game design is built on three, which is autonomy, mastery, and purpose. And this is what gamification really provides anyone. Autonomy, so you can go it around you can do it yourself, but you can go back to home base and you know what you did wrong because you get that feedback and you know how to improve, and you can go back and attack it again, right? Yep. Mastery is what allows you to say, you can be the best. You can become a black belt, and here's the process to do it. And the problem with life is we don't set the parameter for our games. We don't have a feedback loop that actually tells us, well, today, this is what you got done in comparison to yesterday, and you're X closer to your goal. Because if you got that report card every time you walked home or walked in the door at home, you'd go, ooh, I could make this quick change and I could dramatically impact the results I achieved today. And the last part is purpose. Because as you know, AJ, a lot of people are struggling. They're kind of just floating through life with no bigger purpose, no epic win.
Yeah.
Because when we actually gamify, we play for a win, a victory, which is clearly defined. And that's what's missing from people's lives.
Yeah. I remember I was on an airplane one time, and it's like June or something, and I was actually kind of feeling bad. I was telling my wife, oh my gosh, I'm not getting anything done. I feel like I haven't been winning at all. And the thing is, I'm a quick start personality. I think to the future a lot, about what I'm doing. And because I keep thinking of the future, I keep thinking of all the things I haven't done. These are the things that are, because they're in the future, right? I don't think of the past very much. And so I feel like I haven't accomplished anything. She goes, hey, hold on a second. Let's make a list of what you've accomplished this year already. It's like, okay, what, 3 or 4 things? And we actually had like 3 pages of stuff,
Exactly.
It's just because I didn't have that feedback that you're talking about. I didn't have a scoreboard. It's hard to know if you're winning or losing if you don't keep score, right?
Exactly. And the thing is, everyone can make a massive change in their life. If they just sit down and go, my result is X. How am I going to score this? And it doesn't matter if you just get a calendar. And so right now for my cycling, I'm tracking miles that I ride, right? Mm-hmm. And even if I do not ride any miles in that day, I have to put a 0 on the calendar, right? Uh-huh. And at the end of the week, I total it up, and at the bottom of the calendar is written my goal. So I can actually see my goal is, and I may have rode 400 miles this month, but it's close to my goal. But I'm tracking my progress, and I can see what I'm putting in. I do the same with my sales. Mm-hmm. I track dollars, like checks, cash, like money in the bank, sales. Uh-huh. Some days I make 0, some days I make a lot, but I track that, and I can actually see how that's tracking to my end goal at the month. And just because I start tracking, I actually get off my ass and start doing some work.
Mm-hmm. One of the things I also love about the things you're talking about is, because I hear for example, you're talking about tracking sales and that sort of stuff, and people know that, but you've added in layers to it. So therefore, your reward, some people aren't necessarily motivated by the money, or when I talk about like going to the gym, they're not necessarily motivated. Well, the people that I know who go to the gym all the time and get the results is because they love going to the gym. Yep. The people when it's just about the result, then it is they go to the gym. When they get the result, they kind of stop, and then they need to go to the gym again. They start, they stop, they start, they stop, they start, they stop. And you're talking about making the whole entire process fun, so that you keep going, you keep doing it.
Well, you connect it to a bigger purpose. Let's go back to the cycling example, right?
Yeah.
So I've got I set myself on a quest. There's actually a ride where I actually ride across Florida. Doesn't sound like much, right? But when you're doing it on a bike, it's a few hundred miles, and it's a lot of energy. So I'm actually training, and I've got a deadline for this goal, and I'm going to take this big challenge of riding across Florida, coast to coast, and that's my challenge. I may complete, I may not complete, but it's part of the win. It's part of that journey, the experience, and it keeps me stepping. Even in life, you've got to work. Well, okay, I'm not motivated by the money. Are you tracking hours spent with the kids, social good you make, lives you impact, books you read? You might love cooking. All right, well, you might cook and give your food away to people who don't have a meal. And so you could track mouths fed. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I'll tell you, I'm super excited about the whole concepts and learning more from you and doing things. Normally I don't just kind of cut off this quickly, but the thing is, you got so much stuff, and what I want people to realize is, the idea of gamification is awesome, and someone, I feel I'm fairly experienced and stuff. I was only able to apply a couple of things, and so I know as I learn more from you, you're going to just add on more and more layers, and so I just want to highly encourage people to to get in touch with you. Oftentimes when I do these calls, it's just really about pondering life together, and I don't do a ton of promotions, and yet this is one that I want to tell people, because I think it will make a difference in my life and in their lives. I get a lot of coaches and hypnotists and speakers that follow me here as well. If you're a coach, learning some of these concepts can really give you a competitive edge in the marketplace and to help you get results with your clients. So you teach a full day workshop, and I know that you're putting together even a gamification certification type of concepts together. How can people follow you and find out more about what you're doing, or what are you up to?
Well, so there's a lot going on right now. So I call this product Game or Die. And the website that people can find out is gameordie.co. So that's .co. Gameordie.co. And there's a whole heap of training on there. There's a whole blog, and we break it down and start applying things to business and show them examples from all around the world. There's a whole book series coming out. Right now I'm actually co-authoring with people who are leaders in their field. So I'm looking for coaches and hypnotists and business specialists who want that competitive advantage and would like the opportunity to co-author with me on our book series. We do, as you said, the 2-day workshops, and we have 4-hour workshops that are there to help people, give them the plan so they can walk away and know. Like, if you've got a training program or a coaching program, do you want more referrals? Do you want your customers to have a better success rate? Actually getting them to complete, getting them to be successful, and having their success attract new business. It's what we kind of call Game or Die as the holy grail of marketing.
Yeah.
Because it helps you get customers excited, and have those excited customers attract more customers. That's the best form of marketing you can have.
Yeah, as a coach, the toughest thing is not telling the client what they need to do. It's getting them to do it. So this is just kind of a fantastic way. How did you evolve to come up with to get to this point?
So, well, it was all through Tigga Studios, my game design company. I was in a marketing e-commerce background. I was in business coaching and development for many years, and I started this app studio. And I ended up publishing 300 apps in 1 year. And I have no coding, programming, or design experience, right? We're now at 500 apps and growing, and we've got a really nice company. And some of our apps were getting millions of downloads. And I'm just watching them getting downloads after downloads, like thousands of people every day. And I'm sitting there and I'm kind of scratching my head at going, now, how can I get that type of engagement on my websites or with my books or with my other content? Because people were just consuming it, and they were emailing us with suggestions and feedback, and can you do this, and can you do this, and they were spending money with us. So I broke down and studied and worked everything out to go, I wanted to create a blueprint so I could gamify anything. And that's what I did. And now we call it Game or Die, and I've been able to gamify my business, and I've worked with many others to gamify their businesses and help them with their marketing and their promotions online and offline. And some of the best results with this is actually happening offline. No online component at all. That's just like a whole another layer you can add to it. So brick and mortar business, this is phenomenal. Like phenomenal strategies. So it was kind of that evolution. I was just wanting to know, why do some games get like 100 million downloads in 40 days?
Yeah.
Like, and understanding what are the elements in place. And then when we were publishing apps, I was testing, what if I take this whole element out? Does the app work? Does it fail? Is there no success there? And by doing that, now I've got this blueprint, this process I can walk anyone through. And as I did with you, like, we even did it in like less than 15 minutes.
Yeah. Pardon me. Again, a lot of times I've heard people just kind of like talk about it. The fact that you got a blueprint, that means we can get a strategic plan like right away. That's awesome. So, everybody, you can tell my excitement just about the whole topic, and I'm so glad that I was able to cross paths with you and do that. We'll put some links down below for how to find out more and learn more about you. You've got some workshops coming up and those sort of things, so you want to pay attention to that. Hey, everybody. Thanks, Ben, so much for joining me here on the show. If you got questions or comments, post them below. Like this video, subscribe, check us out on Facebook, check out Ben, and we'll see everyone later, all right? Take care, everybody. Thanks, Ben.
Thanks.